Hey YouTube, welcome back to Part-Time Fab. Sorry about not having any intro video, but I started out with part 2 and filmed way too much footage. So what I did is I just chopped it up, expanded out to one more episode. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get to work. So as you can see right off the bat, I have redesigned the post. The old post was pretty thin walled tubing, and I thought over time this could be a problem, putting a lot of stress on it. So I dug into the metal pile and found this, I think it's 1/2 inch thick tubing. It should hold up much better than that old tubing. Since we've changed the post, the next thing I had to do was rework the end so the top could slip onto it. As you can see, I've got to measure and make sure I grind enough off. Check out those mad grinding skills. This next part is not very exciting, but as you can see, I'm going to clean the post off, get the rust and mill scale off of there, and prep it for paint. I really enjoy the background music. I hope you do too. It seems to really improve the viewing experience. The next step here is to bevel the end, so when we put the post on the bottom plate, we'll get good weld penetration. And that's what we're looking for, good sliding action on that top plate. That'll make for extending the life of our stand. Moving on, I guess we're at the point we need to drill some holes in the bottom plate to be able to bolt it to the drum. I believe I cut most of it out, but you may notice that I'm still having some trouble with this drill press. I really need to get that fixed. This is the bottom plate, and we just need to deburr those holes we just drilled. Before moving on to the welding, I'm going to do a little mock-up here to make sure everything looks correct and is the way it should be. Next, we want to make sure our post is centered and aligned front to back, side to side, and plumb on our bottom plate. This will ensure the stand is not odd looking or causes any problems later with being off center or out of balance. If you do any welding at all and usually have trouble holding things, I highly recommend you get one of these 90-degree magnetic holders. It really has made a world of difference to any of the welding jobs I do. It really helps, and plus it holds it plumb. You don't have to worry about being out of plumb at all. Next, we're going to tack some corners and check for alignment, and then we'll be ready to weld. Not that I'm the greatest welder, but I'm going to do a little cleanup here and display the welds. As you can see, they're not the greatest welds in the world, but you know what? They'll do. They'll do on this particular job. Okay, so our next task is to make a plug for the end of the post. This is really good welding practice to cover up those open ends, and we really want somewhere for the that slide-on plate to touch against and not just be riding on the ends of the post. So as you can see here, this is the type of fit up we want. Nice, close, tight. Now all we need to do is trim the other side. Now that looks like a nice fit up there on all sides. So next all we need to do is round those corners off and just get to welding. Now I'm not sure if you can see it, but that tube is welded together when it's made, and it leaves a little seam all the way down the tube, so that's going to hold our tab out. So I'm going to have to use a file and grind that down to make a good fit. Here is another great tip and use of the magnetic square. You can use the magnet to hold the tab as you're fitting it, so you don't drop it down the tube, because that can be somewhat of an issue. If you drop the tab, sometimes you have trouble getting it back out of the tube. You have to bang on it, and if it gets lodged down in there, you might have to make another one. So it's a good tip. Now that we've achieved good fit up and good contact around that, all we got to do is use our little magnetic square to hold our tab tack that tab in place and then weld around the tube to hold it. That's all for episode 3. As you can see, I've made very good progress on the universal stand, and I hope to have it finished very soon. If you haven't already seen part 1 or part 2 of this build, I invite you to click on one of these images to view the other videos. As always, I ask that you rate, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know how I'm doing. Thanks, and see you next time on Part-Time Fab.